So with all this self-improvement content out here, where do I even begin? And it was this very exact same question that was left previously on my video that made me really wonder, what if I had to start over? And as soon as I started pondering upon this thought, I realized how overwhelming and how annoying it could be starting off your self-improvement journey. Like, you're going through mad Google searches, you're watching mad content, just trying to figure out some sort of pathway which is best designed for you. And the worst part about this whole thing is that a lot of us will get stuck in paralysis of analysis. We'll be trying to figure out the best way to start for so long that we never get started. But the good news is this: I've been self-improvement for 5+ years. I've been doing this probably more than your favorite content creators who are the same age as me. Let's keep it honest now. So after sitting on it for a week and looking back at my journey, I think I found the answer for that burning question about where to get started. So if you're ready to finally break free from the confusion and you're ready to take that crucial first step, join me today as I unveil my own guide on what I would do if I had to start over again today. And trust me, you're not going to want to miss any part of this video, especially not the end, because I'm going to be dropping heavy game. So here's the scenario. I'm a 21-year-old skinny dude with no trades or skills or any sort of experience in the real world. I still live with my parents, and on top of that, I'm a horrible woman. I have no confidence when I talk to a girl. I have no real social skills. Man, am I I'm just kidding. Anyone can self-improve. That's the beautiful thing about life. It's not easy, but it's simple. So before we even begin to take some action in our lives, I want you guys to sit there and think, why? Why do you want to start your self-improvement journey? What is the leading force that is causing you to want to change? That's the first question you got to ask yourself, because without this why, your foundation can never be set. This will be the number one driving force for you when times get tough. And trust me, times are going to get tough. You can rely on that more than anything. And while you're pondering upon why you want to do it, figure out what parts of self-improvement are you really focused on. Are you not happy with the way you look? Are you not happy with your financial situation? Everyone kind of has their own reasons of getting into self-improvement, and keeping this in mind will make it a lot easier for you to begin your self-improvement journey. So hopefully me starting at square one, day zero, with nothing going for myself in this scenario will ultimately give you guys some clarification on what you guys should do based on what's going on in your own lives. The reason why I do this, the reason why I'm self-improving all the time, the reason why I'm breaking my comfort zones, trying new things, trying to be the best version of myself, it's because ultimately I don't want to be left with what if. What if in a different timeline, there's a version of KJ who has his dream wife. He's living in Los Angeles. He's driving a 2023 all-black Corvette. I cannot continue to live knowing that that's out there for me, and I have not put the effort in to get to that point. I can't live knowing the fact that all that greatness is out there for me to achieve, but yet every day I come home from work and I'm playing video games or I'm watching prawn, watching some other man living my dream, watching other people live the kind of life I want. So in order for me not to feel like a coward, I have to take action daily. I have to make these moves. I have to make this motion happen, because if not, I'm going to be living wondering, what if? Don't do anything until you know your why, because this is where burnout occurs. I don't want you guys burning out. I don't want you guys doing this shit for 20 days and then saying, wow, this isn't for me. I want you guys to think long about this. If it takes you 2 weeks, let it take 2 weeks. If it takes you 2 months, let it take 2 months. Until you figure out your why, do not proceed with self-improvement. So for this scenario here, I'm just going to say I'm a 21-year-old kid who's considered a loser by his peers, and I want to make myself better so that way I can be respectable and commended by my friends and my family. That will be my reason why I'm doing it. So the first crucial step that I'm taking, I'm going to begin to work on my fitness journey. So the big thing with the fitness journey is that you can start it immediately. Like with fitness, you can start almost anywhere at any time. So there really isn't any excuse for you not to start after this video. So with fitness, not only does it improve your overall health, but when it comes to self-improvement, there's 2 huge things it's going to do for you. Number one, it's going to improve your looks. I don't need to go into a long spiel about how it's going to improve your looks. The more shredded you are, the more buff you are, generally speaking, you're going to look better overall. And overall, it's going to give you a confidence boost in yourself in which you need to succeed in life. So do not ignore the looks side of getting buff. So the second and most important aspect of the fitness game is what it does to the mind. Once you build your body, this same discipline and same structure and same mindset is ultimately needed to build anything in life. You need to have the ability to go through the hardships, see no progress, and get up and do it again. You need to build this habit of doing shit when you don't want to and continue to work hard when you don't see any progress in life. Because a lot of times in self-improvement, we go months, even years to see a little bit of progress. Some people go multiple years without seeing any progress in a certain area. And if I'm 21 years old living with my moms, I'm going hard as fuck in the gym. I'm progressive overloading. I'm hitting a lot of compound movements. I'm going beast mode with the protein. I'm eating a gram of protein per body weight. I'm getting plenty of sleep and I'm drinking a ton of water. You do that for about a year, your body will change. Now, if I'm a 21-year-old working at a fast food restaurant, let's just say I'm making like 30K. So 30K, you're not able to live by yourself at that point, but you're not dirt broke. So let's say I'm only making 30K a year. First major thing I'm gonna do if I'm working like a retail kind of job is I'm gonna see how I can get myself promoted in that position. Because obviously if I become, let's say, a supervisor or like a shift leader, then at that point, not only do I make a little bit more money, but I get more hours. And on top of that, I'm going to develop some key crucial skills for my resume. So that way, when I go into a job interview, I can say I have leadership over those fellow people. It's not going to mean a whole lot when it comes to the real world, but it's still something that shows that you're trying in life. That's a big thing. You can sell yourself on that if you're good enough at selling yourself. So on top of trying to get promoted, I'm also going to be using some of the money that I have on the side, since I'm living with my parents, to reinvest into a side hustle. So one of the key side hustles I'm going to do, besides trying to do some stock or crypto scams or some quick get easy rich scheme, I'm going to invest into reselling Discord groups. And what I mean by a deals group is that there's groups out there that are on Discord, that are on Twitter, that not only help you resell things for profit, but on top of that, they're giving out free food so you can cut down on your expenses. They're showing you how to get free gas so you can cut down on your expenses. They're showing you all these different ways to save money and make money. And as someone who's only making 30K a year, I need to be able to preserve as much as possible to reinvest back into myself. I'm going to put some of these groups at the end of the video. Obviously, if you want to skip ahead, feel free. But again, this video right here is going in, so I wouldn't advise doing that. So now that I'm investing my money and I'm cutting down on my expenses, I'm going to use some of that money that I'm saving to put it back into myself. And what I mean by that is I'm not going to immediately just try to start a fucking business and try to become rich overnight. Obviously, if you have the skill set to start a business that's going to be successful offhand, I would highly recommend doing that instead of this next step. But most guys at this age don't. It's very hard for you to have a very successful first business. Either I will look into school or I'll look into trades. You need to know yourself enough to know which one is going to be more beneficial to you, because they both have their pros and cons. Obviously speaking, you can always get a CDL, become a truck driver, make over 100K after a few years. Only downside to that is that you're gonna be working long ass hours, which takes away from your purpose in the long run. That's a whole different video though. If you go to the school route, you're gonna have to invest 4 years of your life to get a degree. So you need to be very, very strategic in what you get your degree in if you take that option. Obviously the best majors to get are STEM majors. You can never go wrong with a business major if you know how to play your cards right and get an internship in today's day and era. Just avoid the non-paying degrees if you're going in debt. Like, why get an art degree if it's not going to pay you after you get out of school? These things are very common knowledge. And pick something that you're actually going to pass. It doesn't make any sense to do a STEM major you hate for 4 years and then you fail the last year because you don't want to do it anymore, or you don't have the drive to do it, or you just so behind from the past lectures you can't move forward. Avoid that at all costs. And the last thing I would say about finances is I would read books on finances. I would watch YouTube videos. Iman Ghazi and Sebastian, those are two great young dudes who know their finances better than I ever could tell you. I would read some books on it. I would read Rich Dad Poor Dad. I would read The Richest Man in Babylon. I would read books. I would use those books to build a foundation on which you can build on further once you get really invested into the money and once you actually have some money in your pocket. That's how I would handle the financial side of things. So now that I finally started working on my self-improvement journey, I'm starting to work on myself, starting to get in the gym, starting to really build some confidence, we're going to double down on the most important muscle, the mindset, the mind. Your mindset plays such a critical thought on how you think, which then turns into the way you speak, which then turns into the way you act, which then creates your patterns, which then becomes your lifestyle and your destiny. There is so many things that are going on in our mind. Some of us are harder on ourselves than the society is. If that's you, we got a lot of work to do when it comes to this side of self-improvement. everything starts with the mindset. So if I'm a 21-year-old with nothing going on and I'm feeling bad about myself, there's a few different ways I would handle this. So the most obvious way is to watch more motivational videos. We'll hear these inspirational stories from these great men who've come before us. There's a ton of different people who have great minds who have pulled themselves out of the muds plenty of times. I'm starting to hear their stories. I'm starting to look at my life a little differently now. I'm not looking at my life as some sort of pity story. I'm looking at my life as a comeback story. And so I'm watching these videos. If I have to, I'm talking to a therapist. And just as importantly, I'm talking to myself. If I'm 21 years old while I'm driving home, I'm manifesting. I'm thinking in my head how I can get this, what this is going to feel like, what this looks like in my life. Where do I want to be at? And I'm also thinking in my head, if anyone's going to fix the situation that I'm in, it's going to be the only person who cares about me, which is me. So by working on your mindset and practicing being mindful and being grateful for what you got now already, you're ultimately creating a superpower of unwavering confidence, which is going to carry you in the future. So one of the last major steps I would do if I was in this scenario again, I would begin to work on my social skills. This isn't as important as the other ones. I'd much rather you guys wait to really start trying to date girls once you get at your parents' house. Obviously, you can date girls here and there if they're cool with it, but I just felt like if my money's not on point and I'm not on point mentally and I don't feel like I have my money together, it's hard for me to date women. I don't know, maybe it's just me, but don't get it twisted. It's very important in life because a lot of guys avoid social interactions for so long that it becomes very, very hard for them to get out the shell. So if I'm a 21-year-old kid, after like a few months of just focusing on myself, going in monk mode, getting everything right, after a certain point, I'm going to begin to make approaches. I'm going to begin to try to get out there and meet new people, meet different girls. And at first, when I start approaching women and I start talking to people, I'm going to be horrible. I'm going to be nervous. I'm going to be a trainer. I'm going to say stupid shit. When you're starting off, there's a lot of dumb shit you're going to do. But the purpose of cold approaching at first is not to become some suave Don Dada type of dude. It's really ultimately to build your mentality towards rejection in life. Get yourself cold. You want to be numb to the opinions of others because a lot of times in life, we allow other people to dictate what we do. In order for you to get better at social skills, you must do things that are socially uncomfortable. That is one of the easiest ways. A lot of you guys are sitting at home all weekend long just playing video games by yourself, or you're playing video games with your friends online. You need to go out into the real world and really develop your edge by doing these uncomfortable things. If you have a hard time approaching women, go take a cold shower. Go feel what it feels like to do things when you're uncomfortable. That will translate. Congratulations to everyone who watched till the end. You got to see a man who was 21 years old working at a fast food restaurant, living with his parents, being a complete bum, turn into the man you're seeing in the front of the camera today. This scenario is very similar to my life. I wasn't as bad, I'm not gonna front. I definitely had to put in a lot of work to get to where I'm at now. Now it's finally time to take action. Remember, take small steps and understand that this self-improvement journey is a lifelong journey that you can go on. It's not going to be overnight. It's not going to be tomorrow. It's probably not going to be next month. But just by focusing on behaviors over outcomes, you will ultimately drive yourself to your success. And I hope that, years from now, you guys can take from this video what I was putting into it. I hope you guys can ultimately create the lives you want and envision by working hard and continue to believe in yourself. With that said, guys, my name is KJ the Black Ace. I make self-improvement content weekly. Also, make sure you guys follow my social media. I post a lot of my short-form content on there. I talk a lot of self-improvement on there. On top of that, it's a personal way for you guys to get in contact with me. So feel free to shoot me a DM. And with that said, holla back. Peace.